BanjoBenClark.com. I am Banjo Ben, your host here on the website that teaches you how to play mandolin, guitar. This week is Banjo Week, and the reason why I started off with that little version of I'll Fly Away is to demonstrate something for you pertaining to what we're going to be learning today. Today is all about square rolls, or some folks might call them mixed rolls. And I played that version there using only pinches and square rolls. So as you can tell, this is a huge roll that plays a major role in your banjo playing. Okay, so today we're going to learn all about what they are. We're going to look at them from every possible angle, and the way that I'm going to teach this is going to ingrain in your mind how to properly play them and to be able to recall them and to use them in your playing in the future. If you're watching this on Facebook or YouTube, I'll invite you here in a moment to come over to BanjoBenClark.com. You can join as a GoPick member, have access to hundreds of lessons just like this one on all three instruments. I'd be honored to have you on board. Let's jump into this big old lesson on square rolls. Today is all about a very special roll. This roll is called the square roll. Now, some people call that the mixed roll, and that's fine. Sometimes I'll refer to it as a mixed roll. It's the same thing. Or some people might call it the alternating thumb roll. That's fine too. But here's what we're going to do. I'm going to teach you how to play it, but then I'm going to teach you every possible variation and combination there is, because this is a very deep roll. A lot of times people think about this roll as being a simple roll, because sometimes when people first start playing banjo, they learn how to do this. And it sounds like a banjo player, doesn't it? So they pick up banjos and do that as fast as they can. And that's fine, but there's so much more to it. So this lesson, it is long, it's intense, but if you'll stay with me throughout this lesson, by the time we get done, these square rolls are going to be ingrained in your mind every possible way that you can play them, and it's really going to help your playing. Let's go ahead and throw up the first line of tab. And as we first learn how to play this square roll, we're going to keep our thumb on the same string, just to get the mechanics, the motor skills down of what it takes to make a square roll, which is essentially the pattern thumb, index, thumb, middle, thumb, index, thumb, middle. All kinds of different ways we can play that with 5 strings. But let's start out there in measure 2 with our 3 fingers on the first 3 strings of the banjo. So that we start with our thumb in measure 2, and then we're going to play our index on the second string, come back to the thumb, and then play the middle finger on the first string. Okay, so if we put that together, it sounds like this. You might just want to pause this video right now and just look at measure 2 and get to where that movement of going thumb, index, thumb, middle, thumb, index, thumb, middle, all staying on the same strings is ingrained in your head. This is how we're going to systematically learn this, to where you can get it up to a decent speed. Doesn't have to be this fast, but just to get to where your brain can almost go on autopilot to do it. Now when you finish that, measures 3 and 4 are going to be a little easier, and all we're going to do is move our thumb down to the next string and play the same pattern. So measure 3, we're going to start on the 4th string down here, but keep everything else the same. So measure 3 sounds like this. We're still alternating, still making that square pattern. And then measure 4, we're going to switch our thumb to the 5th string up here. Okay, that's just to present our hand with all the different positions it can possibly be in. Measure 4 sounds like this. So what I'd advise now, before we even move on, is just to play through measures 2, 3, and 4 to where it gets comfortable. I'll do it for you. Switch the thumb down, then switch it to the 5th string. If you want to go a step further, you can take some basic chords and play those. Play it through one time with the open strings, and then play maybe your C chord. Maybe go to your D7 chord. Do the same thing. Okay, but now we're going to start building up on our skills. Well, let's go to measure 5, and we're going to slowly begin working in an alternate thumb. Okay, so this takes another level of brain power and muscle memory to start doing this. I'm going to work you in slow. But in measure 5, we're going to have 4 notes with our thumb on the 3rd string. And then I want you to come down and play it on the 4th string. So measure 5 all together. And whether you know it or not, I'm programming your brain on how to play these. Measure 5 again. Get to where you can just jump down there without having to think too hard about it. It shouldn't be easy yet, but it should be getting a little easier. So measure 6 is exactly like measure 5. You can just practice those 2 measures. In measure 7 and 8, we're going to try a little different combination. We're going to jump from the 3rd string with our thumb up to the 5th string. So measure 7 and 8 sound like this. So again, you can take measures 6 through 8, play it with open strings, or you can do it with chords. That'll be good. We'll work into some chords here in a little while. Now as we pull up measure 9, this is where it really starts to get fun, because a square roll or a mixed roll starts to sound like a square roll whenever the thumb alternates a little quicker. We've been keeping the thumb on the same string for 2 or 4 notes in a row. So it's playing more than one note on the same string. Now we're going to switch it a little faster. And here in measure 9, we're going to alternate the thumb between the 3rd and 4th string every time it's played. Okay, so let's just concentrate in your mind on the first 4 notes of measure 9. So we're going to start out playing the 3rd and 2nd string, and then immediately jumping down to the 4th string, playing that 1st. So just take your time and play those 4 notes together. This is using a part of your brain that you've never had to use before. So you're having to teach it. And it's going to take some motor skills. That's okay. Nobody does this easily right off the bat. But you can practice measures 9 and 10. It's just a simple pattern repeated back and forth. And now to make sure that it's ingrained in our head, let's switch the pattern. Let's start measure 11 with our thumb on the 4th string and alternate it up to the 3rd string, but we keep our other fingers in the same pattern. So measure 11 sounds like this. Make sure you can get this. Measure 12, same thing. Okay, so let me just play through measures 9 through 12 a little quicker just so you can see what it sounds like. Now I'll switch them up. And then once again, if you feel comfortable, start adding chords as we do that. Okay, now we're not even halfway through these exercises and halfway through looking at what all a square roll can do. Let's keep plowing ahead.